Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Salamangreat. Salamangreat is an archetype of fire Cyberse monsters that focus on the graveyard and link summoning. They also have a unique mechanic with Sanctuary that allows them to link summon using one card of the exact same name in order to go into another card of that same name. Very useful because a lot of the effects, such as Heatleo, or a lot of the link monsters, such as Heatleo and Sunlight Wolf, gain bonus effects when they are link summoned in this way. So let's quickly do a card by card, and then I will talk about the strategy for a second. First of all, we are playing quite a few hand traps. Gamma, obviously with Driver. We're playing Maxi as well as Ash Blossom. Realistically, Ash Blossom is definitely better. I would take out the Gamma for the Ash Blossom. However, Gamma is very, very useful and can really slow down your opponent. Ash Blossom is nice, mostly because of the fire synergy. Moving on, we have 3 Flame Bufferlow. This is your best normal summon. You normal summon this guy, you link off into Balinks, and then you are able to activate its effect to discard a Cyberse monster to draw 2. Very, very useful. Just allows us to, 1, get a Cyberse monster, more specifically all of your other Salamangreat cards into the graveyard, and 2, allows us to draw more cards. So, very useful. Foxy is the best Salamangreat named normal summon, because when it's normal summoned, you can excavate the top 3 cards and add a Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand. Just any of them. Really solid. Just added extension. We are playing 1 Gazelle because it is limited to 1. This card does everything that you want for the deck. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is in your hand, you can special summon it. Also, if it is normal or special summoned, you can send a Salamangreat card from your deck to the grave. And the reason this is so good is because it doesn't just send monsters, but it also sends other spells and traps. And we have quite a few that are worth sending. We have Triple Spinny. This card can discard itself in order to boost up a Salamangreat monster on the field. Also, it can special summon itself as long as you control a Salamangreat monster. Very, very solid. Definitely run 3 of this. We have 1 Falco. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Salamangreat card or Salamangreat spell or trap in your graveyard and set it onto the field. Jack Jaguar can special summon itself to a link point of a Salamangreat monster as long as it has something in the or a Salamangreat monster in the graveyard for it to shuffle back. Foul can also special summon itself if you summon a Salamangreat monster. So, those are all the Salamangreat main deck monsters. We're also playing Triple Parallel Exceed, pretty self-explanatory. We're playing 2 Nibiru as well. You don't want to see this all too often, but you do want to see it pretty often. It is just a great way to kind of deal with a lot of things and just wipe boards. And you can get it off of Maxi, which is very nice. We're also playing Triple Pot of Desires. It may seem like a bad idea, seeing as how we are playing a 1-of, but in all honesty, we have other ways to search out this card, and we don't need it to make our plays. It's nice, but it's not necessary. So playing the Pot of Desires to go for better hands is very good. We're also playing Signet Mining, just searches out a level 4 or lower Cyberse monster by discarding a card. Very crazy. I'm also playing some added back row removal. I noticed that I needed some more back row removal, so I'm playing Lightning Storm as well as Twin Twister, just in case I need those. We are also playing 5 spells for the Salamangreats, 1 Sanctuary, 1 Will, and 3 Circle. So, Sanctuary, I've already mentioned, allows us to basically Salamangreat link summon, or I forget what it's called. But basically, you use the same named Salamangreat as the full link material. Also, it has a secondary effect, which is really mediocre. We are also playing Will of the Salamangreat. This card can either allow you to special summon a Salamangreat monster from your hand or graveyard once per turn, or you can send it to the graveyard to special summon 2 or more monsters, depending on the link rating of a monster. So, again, from hand to graveyard. So, very useful if you have, like, a Sunlight Wolf already up. It basically allows you to special summon 2 instead of 1. Very solid. We're playing 3 Salamangreat Circle, as I mentioned. This card searches out a Salamangreat monster at quick effect speed, as well as you can target a Salamangreat link monster you control that was link summoned using a monster with its same name as material, and then it is unaffected by monster effects. Very, very nice. just added protection. Mostly it's used to search. We are playing 1 Rage. This card's crazy. You can send a Salamangreat monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, target a card in the field, destroy it, or you can, if you have a Salamangreat Link monster that was Salamangreat Link summoned, you can destroy your opponent's cards they control up to the Link rating. Non-targeting. Absolutely crazy. Very, very worth it. We are also playing 2 Roar. Basically, if you have a Salamangreat Link monster, you could just Omni Negate. It's very similar to a Solemn Judgment, except instead of negating a summon, it negates a monster effect. There you go. As for the extra deck, this is actually pretty tight. You can't really change a whole lot, even though we are playing a lot of 3-ofs. You do need all 3. We're playing 1 Mirage Stalio. This card's just nice. It's bonus extension, and the main way that you are going to use it is to bring back one of your monsters and then go into a Link monster, because then you can target a monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Or you could potentially even return a Gazelle to your hand, which is very nice as well. We're playing 1 Baguska. Baguska is very nice because we're playing mostly Link monsters, and that's the effects that we want to activate on the field. So we can just go into a Baguska and sit on it and not really have to worry about that too much. We are playing 3 Balinks. This is the monster that you go into after you normal summon one of your monsters. Absolutely crazy, very much worthwhile. We are also playing 1 Lingaribo. This can come up, specifically if you're going second. You can Link summon into this to negate, say, a spell or trap that would prevent you from continuing your plays. Very solid. We are playing 1 Update Jammer, as well as 1 Splash Mage, Transcode Talker, and the Access Code. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's just the Cyberse OTK type of line. You can go Update Jammer into Access Code to give it a secondary attack in order to pop cards, as well as just attack in for lethal. We're playing 3 Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. This absolutely 100% does come up. Feels bad, but realistically, yeah, you do have to play 3 of this card. You Link summon using itself multiple times in order to gain more effects. Very, very nice. We are also playing 2 Heatleo. This card is more or less cuttable, but you definitely do want to. It does do stuff when it is Link summoned using itself, and more specifically, it's just a very solid boss monster for the archetype. In case you are locked into fires, for example, with your Mirage Stalio, it is nice to have. So let's hop into the replays and see how this deck performs. Now, before we get into these duels, I just wanted to say that, did you know, almost 80%, over 80% of the people who watch my channel are not subscribed? That's all. Alright, in this first game, we actually get to go first, which is super solid. We also draw a very solid hand. We have Salamangreat Circle, as well as Gamma, as well as Foxy, and some of the other things. And the reason that we go for Circle here is to bait out the Ash, allowing us to Gamma it as well. Now, things get a little bit clunky here because my zones get a little clogged, so you'll see that come up and actually mattering here. We're going to add the Gazelle here. Most of the time, you're going to want to grab Gazelle. It's just one of the best adds for your deck. Just having it in hand is very solid. We're going to reveal 3 cards and grab up the Rage here, and then link off into Balinks. Balinks is then going to activate, and we are going to change to that the Parallel Exceed. So, very, very solid. Balinks here just adds the Salamangreat Sanctuary. Also, it protects our cards, our Salamangreat cards, from being destroyed by battle or card effect by just banishing it from the grave. Very similar to how something like Dark Lord Tez works, or a myriad of other things. You just banish it from the grave instead of destroying your monster. We're going to bring back off of the will of the Salamangreat the Foxy, and then link off into our Sunlight Wolf. I'm then going to special summon Gazelle, then use the effect of the Sanctuary to link off again with the Wolf in order to summon out the Wolf again. And then here I'm going to use the secondary effect, which does require you to specifically use another Sunlight Wolf to gain this effect, but it allows me to add back one of my Salamangreat spells or traps from the graveyard to the hand. So we add back Circle here, and with Circle and Rage, we are pretty good. I'm then going to go into Baguska. Baguska is absolutely insane, so we're going to go for that, and then I'm going to go into Spinny. Realistically, I didn't need to activate Spinny at this point, but I decided to do this just so that I would have additional protection on the field. just in case they ended up trying to attack over my monsters. So we're going to set the circle as well as the rage and pass the turn. Now, with Baguska, we do pretty well. They're actually going to activate their Drytrons in the hand, so Drytrons here actually do get quite a bit of advantage. However, something like Mu Beta Fafnir, as well as even the ritual monsters, aren't going to do anything under Baguska, and you'll see that here right now. They actually activate right here in, or summon right here in the way of the Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and I never really explained this monster, but if a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can add a fire monster from your graveyard to your hand. This comes up a lot. A lot of people will accidentally summon into this zone, allowing you to gain more advantage. You can add back things like Gazelle, or even if you don't need Gazelle or what have you, just adding back things like the Foxy or the Sunlight Wolf or what have you is very nice. You'll actually see that I add back the Sunlight Wolf because it's very nice to have multiple copies of that in the extra deck. They're going to go for the Cyber Emergency here off of the Mu Beta Fafnir. Mu Beta Fafnir basically can't do anything, so they're going to distribute it and try and grab up more cards. They're going to grab up the Ben 10, and then they are going to activate their Gamma in the grave in order to special summon itself, as well as tributing off the Ben 10. So they actually add themselves a normal summon in the Diviner, or Herald, Diviner of the Herald, yeah, which just, you know, immediately gets negated by the Baguska. Baguska's crazy, by the way. They're going to special summon back their Ben 10, which I'm kind of confused as to why they went for this. But I'm actually going to Rage here. I'm going to target our Sunlight Wolf and then pop the Mu Beta Fafnir, as well as the Ben 10. They're going to add back the Meteonis, and then scoop it up. They realize they can't really do anything under Baguska, even if they were to activate their Meteonis. Yes, they could technically summon out their big Drytron monster, but actually, no, they couldn't. They didn't have the necessary materials to do so, and I think that's why they ended up failing to connect. So, in this duel, I actually lost the coin flip, and the opponent allowed me to go first, which I was kind of worried about. So here we are going to activate our circle and add our Gazelle. So far, so good. We're going to normal summon the Foxy, and we reveal a Jack Jaguar, which is okay, and a Spinny. I add the Spinny because, again, it can basically special summon itself from the hand. We already had the Sanctuary in hand, so I'm just going to link off immediately into a Baylynx. I'm going to special summon out the Gazelle. Gazelle's effect is going to send a Will, and then we are going to go for our Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf is then going to tribute its, or link summon into another Sunlight Wolf. And then we are going to activate the effect of the Sunlight Wolf in order to add back the Will. The reason I went for this is because it allows us to special summon out 2 monsters, which I choose to do. So we are going to special summon out the Falco as well as the Gazelle. I'm then going to pitch the Spinny in order to special summon it again, and then we will go for our Mirage Stallion. Mirage is then going to allow us to special summon out our level 4 in the Salamangreat Jack Jaguar, and we go for Baguska. Baguska is just going to switch everything to defense position. We'll set the circle, which allows us to have added protection with our Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and we will end the turn. They actually have our an out to the Baguska with the Raigeki. I kind of figured something like that would happen, but not a lot that we can do about that. We do get back the Will of the Salamangreat because our Falco was sent to the graveyard. It was attached to the Baguska, so it did end up being sent, allowing us to grab this back. They're going to activate Fusion Deployment after adding a monster off of the Cyber Emergency. And as you can see, we are playing against Cyber Dragons, but they, again, normal summoned their monster in line with our Sunlight Wolf. So I'm going to activate our Sunlight Wolf in order to add back the Foxy. Again, just the best normal summon. And our Gazelle is attached to this Mirage Stallion. They actually link off our, or fuse off our monster, tribute it, basically, into our, or into this guy, which basically just contribute off an extra, or a monster in the extra monster zone. So they're going to special summon out their Natchster, they have their Cyber Dragon, and they are just going to end the turn there with a set card. Now, I think this set card would most likely be the trap that pops cards by banishing the different Cyber Dragon names with different levels. So during the end phase, I am going to activate our circle in order to add Foul. The reason I go for Foul here is because I can normal the Foxy in order to special out the Foul. Or, just anytime I special summon, I can do that. So I'm going to special summon out Gazelle here. Gazelle's effect is going to activate. Foul's effect is going to activate. We're going to special summon out the Foul, and we are going to send with Gazelle. Gazelle is going to send Roar here. The reason for this is because I want at least something that I can have as like a trap card in case this does end up being that the trap that destroys. Turns out it's not. It's Cybernetic Revolution, and with Foal, they have a special effect where you can send a Salamangreat card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, then target a set spell or trap your opponent controls, and then it can't be activated that turn. So, they end up having to activate their Cybernetic Revolution. They tribute a Cyber Dragon to special summon out their Cyber Twin Dragon. I don't know why they went with Cyber Twin instead of, like, the Cyber End, but okay. I mean, it's the biggest monster, so it makes sense. This card doesn't do anything, and none of their other ones would do anything on the summon, so it's not that big of a deal. We're going to summon out our Splash Mage, and then we are going to summon out Gazelle, because it hasn't been summoned from the grave, and activate our Flame Buffalo, which we had normaled in order to go into Splash Mage. We're going to draw 2, and we actually draw Parallel Exceed, which is very funny. And we are going to special summon out both the Foxy off of the Splash Mage, as well as we are going to summon out the Spinny with its own effect. When our Update Jammer is specialed, we are going to special summon out the Parallel Exceed, then we are going to go for a Link summon of 3. We're going to go for Transcode Talker. Here, I then link off into Access Code Talker, and at this point, we do have Lethal. So, we're going to activate our Update Jammer, we are going to give Access Code Talker a second attack, and then Access Code Talker is going to boost up to 4800, and the reason it's 48 instead of 43 is because it is co-linked with the Transcode Talker. We're going to special summon out the Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and then we are going to proceed to pop a few cards. So we're going to pop all the cards on the field that my opponent has, and then just proceed to battle. And that's game. Alright, and here we are in game 3. This time we are going second. But we actually have a pretty solid hand here. They ended up drawing not particularly well. They drew the E-Telly as well as the one target for their E-Telly with the Psy Reflector. So they end up special summoning from the hand, but they end up getting basically what they need off of that. So they're going to do their Psy Reflector combo. They're going to special summon out their Assault Beast to go for a level 8, and they go for the Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler's effect is going to activate, revealing Pot of Prosperity, Whirlwind, I forget what this is called, Wandering King Whirlwind, Wild Wind, Dark Ruler No More, Creation Resonator, and Called by the Grave. The only thing that they can add is the Wandering King Wild Wind, so they're going to set 2 other cards and pass. Turns out they didn't actually have anything. I'm going to go for Pot of Desires first, trying to bait out an Ash Blossom. I don't think they have one, but maybe they do. I'm going to go for Flame Buffalo in order to, and then go into their Balinks. They're actually going to activate their Called by the Grave, negating the negating the Flame Buffalo, and for some reason Balinks didn't activate here. I don't know why. Oh, right. I had banished the Sanctuary, so I can't go into that, but it's not that big of a deal. We're going to special summon out the third Parallel Exceed, the second's in our hand, and we are then going to go for the second Balinks. The reason I do this is because I needed another Salamangreat or Fire Effect monster for the Sunlight Wolf, so now we can go Sunlight Wolf. Now we can special summon out our Gazelle to a link, or to a zone that this link arrow points to, in order to grab both the effect of Gazelle as well as Sunlight Wolf. We're going to send Spinny, and then Sunlight Wolf is going to recycle back one of those Balinks. Spinny is going to then special summon itself, and we are going to go for Update Jammer. At this point, you should probably know how this ends up happening. So we're going to go for Splash Mage. Splash Mage effect is going to activate. We are going to special summon out the Gazelle, and then we are going to go for the Access Code Talker. With this, we are able to put more monsters into the grave with different attributes, allowing us to potentially pop more cards. Doesn't end up mattering all that much, but we also do have Salamangreat Gazelle on our field, just as added protection. So I'm going to pop everything and just proceed to the battle phase. At this point, it's lethal. There we go. Alright, so here we are once again going first, and to be fair, this isn't the greatest hand, but it is basically any two monsters that we need. With Cyanite Mining and Circle, we can get basically anything. I'm going to actually just go for the Foxy here off of the Cyanite Mining, and we are going to reveal 3 cards. I end up seeing a Jack Jaguar, so I'm going to add that to the hand, even though it doesn't really do anything here. I'm going to activate the Circle in order to add the Gazelle here. We're going to then link off into Balinks. And then Balink's effect is going to activate in order for us to search, and Gazelle is going to special summon itself. So Gazelle special summons, Balink searches Sanctuary, and then Gazelle is going to activate in order to send our Rage to the grave. The reason I go Rage here is because non-target destruction is very, very good, so I figured that's probably worth it. We're going to then link summon into our Sunlight Wolf and then activate the effect of, or not activate, but, and then link summon again into another Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf is then going to add back the Rage here, and we are going to set one and pass. Not the greatest, especially since we only ended up seeing a Jack Jaguar. If we had potentially seen like a Spinny or something along those lines, we could have potentially comboed off a little bit harder, but in all honesty, a Rage, a protected Sunlight Wolf with Balinks in grave, as well as the Sanctuary isn't too terrible, especially since we also have Max C as well as Cyanite Mining and another Salamangreat in the hand. We have insane follow-up and pretty decent protection. We can still pop 2 non-targeting, which is very nice. And here I see that they are playing a Jack's Knight, King's Knight, Queen's Knight deck, the Arcana, and so I'm just going to immediately go for the Maxi here, knowing that they can special summon from hand and stuff like that. They ended up, again, special summoning to a point this, or to a zone this monster points to. I don't know why they do this, they always do this, but you know what, I'll take it. I'm actually going to chain here the Salamangreat Rage to the Sunlight Wolf. The reason being is because I know that with those 2, they can basically go into their full combo, so I'm like, I'm going to put a stop to that right now. Pop all of those monsters and just end the turn. And as you can see, we have the Gazelle, and we have the Jack Jaguar. We ended up drawing off of that Maxi only the Driver. Not the greatest, but hey, there's only so much you can do, right? So we're going to draw for turn. We actually draw Roar, which is very funny. But I'm going to activate the Cyanite Mining, and since we had the Driver to pitch, we're just going to send that and then go for the Foul. We're going to then normal summon to a zone the Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf points to, and they are going to negate it with Lost Wind. Not the greatest card to negate. It would have definitely been better to negate something like the access code, but I don't think they really knew that. Understandable. So that's fine. We're just going to link into another one, and then we are going to, well, they're going to special summon out their guy. We're going to special summon out, or sorry, they're not going to special summon. We're going to special summon. They're going to set their card. We're going to go for the Gazelle here, sending the Spinny, since we haven't used Spinny. We're going to add back the Rage as well, and then we are going to go for Update Jammer. Spinny is then going to bring itself back, and we are going to go for a Splash Mage. I'm going to activate the Splash Mage here in order to bring back the Gazelle, and then, of course, link off for Access Code Talker. Update Jammer is going to give it the additional attack, and Access Code Talker is going to target in order to boost up. At this point, again, we have lethal, but I figured, hey, might as well go into Heat Leo, it's funny. So we are going to shuffle back as well with our Sunlight Wolf in order to go for a Jack Jaguar, but again, it's pretty self-explanatory, it's the access code lethal line. That's basically most of the time what you're going to want to do. Alright, so we're back with the deck, and in all honesty, how does it perform? It's okay. It's not the greatest. First of all, it's rather complicated. It is something that does take a lot of time to get used to and to understand how it works. There's a lot of unique mechanics as well as just very varied lines. That poor choice of words. But there's a lot that you can do with this deck and a lot that is necessary to make the correct plays, right? Knowing when to use Sanctuary's effect, knowing how to, when to go into Heat Leo, how to make your access code lines more efficiently, and all of that stuff. Making sure that you're able to utilize your link zones efficiently is also very important. All in all, though, it is a very solid strategy, not, exceptional in any way, but the fact that it can, 1, play a lot of hand traps like Nibiru, Gamma, etc. is very nice, and 2, the amount of consistency that it has with things like Pot of Desires, Cyanite Mining, and Circle, all giving you access to a lot of cards that you would want to see, makes the strategy very nice, and you basically always get to see the cards that you want to see. So all in all, it's a very fun deck. It's very complicated, and I'm excited to play more of this deck. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.